Alright, what's up everybody? Here I am, I got my car packed. I'm about to leave school for Christmas break, but I'm also going to start vlogging tournaments now, and I'm playing a tournament tomorrow, so this is the start, and I don't know how this is going to go, but I'm going to try it, so we'll see how it goes. I'll just check in at random times during the tournament, hopefully, and talk about how I'm doing, and this is going to kind of replace my long-form Facebook and Instagram posts, so I can just keep that a little shorter and put this on my YouTube now. So, this is the start. Let's see, here we go. Alright, so, I forgot to film an intro this morning, but I am here at the Honey Creek Open, and I just finished the first round a little bit ago. We're waiting for the second round to start during lunch right now. So I'll just give you a rundown of how my first round went. I tied for the lead right now. My round was rated 999. Really hoping it goes up a little bit because thousands are cool and all. And I'm actually dropping 1,000 rated off my next ratings update, so I kind of want to replace that. But yeah, so there's only 5 of us open players, and we're all playing together. So we started on hole 1, obviously. Hit a nice 50-footer to start the day. That was pretty good. That was for birdie. Then second hole, bad drive, saved a par. Third hole, whatever. Fourth hole, threw a backhand roller, was really good, and didn't park it, but I had like a 15-foot obstructed putt and made that. That took a couple pars on 5 and 6. 7 was my first bogey of the round. Not ideal, but could have been worse. Then I came back and birdied 8 and 9. 8's a little forehand shot, and 8's a little forehand shot with a cliff on the right, about 10 feet right of the basket, so it's kind of scary. And then 9 is a backhand, not a straight to hyzer shot, but I hit like a 35-footer on, so that was cool. And parred 10, 11, 12, 13. Actually, I think about it, between 12 and 13, there's a bonus hole where I did hit a 50-foot birdie putt on, so that was nice. Took a bogey on 14. It was a really hard hole where the green is surrounded by palmettos, and I just threw a bad drive and then didn't have a shot in the second shot and left myself with like a 30-footer with no look, so that's fun. Like I had to throw it straight up basically. And that's hole 14. 15 was a little flex shot with an FX2. It came out early, and there's somebody playing catch behind me. Okay, I was looking in my mirror. Yeah, so pars on 15 and 16, and then I got a birdie on 17. The guy that I was 2 strokes behind, though, he bogeyed that after he went out of bounds. So I closed the gap from 2 to nothing right there. And then hole 18, I birdied that as... Wait, no, I did not birdie that. Never mind. I'm thinking of the last hole, not hole 18. So there's foreshadowing that the second bonus hole, because we're playing a 20-hole layout right now, the second bonus hole I did birdie with like a 35-footer. It's a very small island. It's only like a 130-foot hole, but I really noodle-armed my shot and left myself a long putt, and thankfully made the island and thankfully made the putt, so that was nice. Overall, I'm feeling really happy about that round, and there's a few things that I can clean up and all, but like, it was just one of those clean rounds. I made 2 mistakes on hard holes with messing up drives and cost me some bogeys, but I made every putt, which is very good. Putting feels so solid that round. Like, no, there was a few that I was a little shaky on, and not really shaky, but I was like, there's a chance I could miss this. But overall, feeling strong. Tied the course record, tied for the lead, right at 1,000 rated round. So hopefully just can go out there and shoot a little better next round, and you know, if it's my day, it's my day, and I can hopefully take it down. It's a really fun course, a lot of really hard birdies, but every hole is very parable, so it's a great tournament scoring separation type course. But yeah, I will keep you updated and talk to you after the second round, hopefully. What's up, y'all? I didn't feel like filming this after the tournament on Saturday. This is Monday right now. I am already home for Christmas break. I just didn't think I was ready to talk about what happened and how it happened, but I'm going to give you a rundown of how round 2 went, overall what happened in the tournament, and how I'm feeling about it. So, I was going to start off by saying, because I just rewatched the clip from lunch break after the first round. I said that it was tied for course record. I'm not exactly sure about that. I think it's tied the official course record, but that's all I know. Also, the round ended up going to 1,001, so that's good. Let's see. On to round 2 now. Starting out, Matt and I were tied at 5 under. There was a guy, I think 2 under and a guy at 1 under. But we started pulling away from those two guys pretty quickly. And it became apparent about 6 or 7 holes into the round, at least from what it felt like to me, that it was going to be a battle between me and Matt the whole way through. So starting out on hole 1, I had birdied this hole in the first round. It's kind of a bonus birdie to me. I don't really have more than about a 310 to 320 foot sidearm, and it's like a 330 foot hole, but you have to actually have it on hyzer the whole way. So I have to throw an absolutely perfect sidearm if I want to get it into putting range. And I had left myself 50 feet in the first round, made the putt, and left myself 50 feet in the second round from the exact same spot, and actually started the round out with make on that putt. So that's great. I was like, okay, cool. Just gonna start out like this, and that's good. Let's see, hole 2, it's another sidearm hole, and I can get to, and I just didn't throw the best shot, and I took a par there. Hole 3, it's a little hyzer backhand skip shot where you have to go under some leaves, under some branches, and around a corner. And I was throwing a 400 glow each one, and I left it like 50 feet left. Didn't push it as far forward as I wanted to, and made that putt. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, is my just perfect putting day just going to continue? And it was, and that's something that I've never had before. And I was like, oh, this is awesome. Let's see, I'm gonna pull up UDisc real quick and make sure I'm getting all these scores on all these holes right. Okay, so yeah, hole 4, I birdied this in the first round with a backhand roller, but this time I let it go too far left and on not enough angle, and there's an OB road left, and I was very scared about that. And it just casually just hit the ground and just carried the cut, and I was like, oh no, don't stay OB. And it finally came in bounds 100 feet past the basket, it felt like. But it took a par there. Hole 5, I didn't really chain out, but I hit chains on like a 50-foot birdie putt, which I was like, that would have been cool if I could have made that too. Hole 6, it's a 390-foot tunnel shot with a low ceiling and a pretty narrow tunnel that you have to hit the gap on very early on the tee, and then get it to flip a little bit and then fade back, or just fade back and hold. And I got it to flip a little bit and fade back, and I was 15 feet obstructed around a tree, but I made the birdie putt. Hole 7's a 450-foot turnover shot, took a par there. Hole 8, like I said in the first round wrap up, that it has a cliff 10 feet to the right of the basket. I actually, in the first round, I had to make about a 25-foot putt for the birdie there, and in the second round, I had a 12-foot putt, so easy birdie. 9, I threw a little bit better shot than first round, but it faded off too far left and skipped a little bit and left myself a further birdie putt, actually, and took a par there. Par 10, 11, 12, 13. Next. Okay, I'm looking at a map, or a scorecard, that's counting 1 through 20, and it was actually 1 through 12, then hole A, then 13 through 18, and then hole B. So I went birdie 10, 11, 12, and then I took a par on 13 as well. I think I just said I birdied those. No, I did not. I parred them. Okay. Then hole 14, I had saved a really good par on this hole in the first round after a bad attempt at a backhand roller. So I went back during lunch right after I filmed the first video, and went and threw it and parked it. And I'm like, okay, cool, let's do it again. Problem is that when it came around to it, I did almost the exact same thing as the first round and left myself a hard upshot to get a par, and didn't execute on that, left myself a 50-foot par putt and missed that. The guy that I was battling, Matt, he actually birdied that, and that flip-flopped us from myself having a one-stroke lead to him having a one-stroke lead. Then let's see, moving on to hole 14, it's a really hard, like 350-foot hole that there's really not a straight shot or a hyzer shot or anything, so I was throwing an FX2 flex shot, trying to get it to flex and come back.
and I caught some branches coming out of the gap off the tee and just didn't get enough on it and left myself like a 50-footer, but it was obstructed by palmetto bushes. So I had to actually go with a forehand A4, a little turnover putt, and knew I needed to try to make it to gain that stroke back on that, and I made it actually. I was like, okay, cool. Then let's see, parred both six. I keep saying these based off the UDisc hole numbers. It's actually holes 15 and 16 of the course that I parred. I did it again. Wow. Hole 17 is a little 320-foot mid shot that I was throwing. I threw an MX3 on a little bit of hyzer and just let it carry straight, and then just dumped softly into the basket. I had a 15-footer on, made that. Matt did not birdie that, and it left myself with a one-stroke lead with 2 holes to go. Hole 18 is a tough little gap shot where there's a few options. There's a sneaky backhand gap that I knew Matt was going to throw, and I was going to throw the forehand to go out the gap in the middle and let it fade and then come back at the basket hopefully. Unfortunately, I hit one of the trees at the gap and just had to settle for a par. No damage done. I had a one-stroke lead going into the last hole. I had said earlier that this is a 130-foot hole. It's actually like a 190-foot hole. And it's an island. It's about 35, 40 feet wide, or short of the basket, and like 50 feet wide along the basket. And left and right is like 40 feet both ways. So a pretty big island for such a small, short hole. And there's a bush that guards the basket where you can't see it off the tee. And I threw a forehand A2 to 15 feet, and I knew it was good out of my hand. I didn't know exactly where it was going to be because we couldn't see it. But when we got there, I was actually CCP out of all but one person on the card, and I was closer than Matt. So Matt steps up to about his 20-footer and just makes that pretty easily. And then going through my mind at this point was, okay, you can win, just make this putt. Just make this putt. Just make this putt. And I stepped up, I was confident, and I hit the cage. There is nothing I can say about it other than I just plain missed. And I wasn't upset at the moment. I was, my mind went straight to, okay, let's just focus on the playoff. And whatever happened just happened. And it happened. It was kind of frustrating that I had literally been 100% C1X for the day. I went like 7 of 7 with 4 circle 2 putts in the first round, and then I went like 9 of 9 with 3 circle 2 putts in the second round until this point. And so my putting was just incredible all day until the last putt. So as far as scores went, we both shot 5 under in both rounds, and the first round was 1,001, second round was 1,004. So we both shot over 1,000 for both rounds. That's awesome. Like, we were 951 and 943 rated players at the time, technically, and we both just averaged over 50 points above our rating, and we both are going to the playoff to win MPO. We beat third by 11 strokes, actually. So we played really, really well. And going into the playoff, I'm just like, okay, just do what you've done all day. Just go out there and get a birdie early, and hopefully that's enough. And hole 1, I'm throwing first because I had lower PDGA number. And I threw a forehand D2 hyzer and turned it over a little bit and left myself like an 80-footer. Laid that up, let Matt run his 50-footer, missed that. We were on the second hole. Second hole, we both threw forehands off the tee. I turned mine over but got it pin high. He threw a good line but left it a little short. We were both like 35, and we both missed those. So on to hole 3. I'm up first still, obviously, and I throw my 400 glow H1 out to the right and let it skip, and I'm like, okay, perfect. That's a 15-footer. And then Matt also throws a great shot, and he's 20 feet long, where I'm 15 feet right. So we both made those putts. On to hole 4. Now hole 4, really hard hole, 390 feet. It's not really, really hard, you know what I mean? But like, getting a birdie is a good feeling to get a birdie on this hole, and it's very easy to bring big numbers into play. Like I saw some 5s and 6s in advanced, and it's just, I think a couple years ago when I played this tournament, I had taken 4s and 5s. Like, it just happens, but very easily because you're throwing over a road that curves into the fairway. And so I'm gonna throw my backhand roller. Got it down on a good angle. I'm like, okay, good, that's good. And then I rolled into the woods right of the basket, and it's just really thick bushes there. And I knew that it would catch me somewhere close enough to have a look, and that's what happened. Matt threw his drive, not the greatest shot, but it's in bounds, and he had a little 100-foot up and down, and he put it to about 15. And I had a putt to win. So crawling into the bush, I'm just thinking, okay, just figure out a way to make a putt out of this bush. And that's what I tried to do. And I definitely took more than 30 seconds, I'll admit this right now, trying to just find a way to have a swing, to have a line, to have everything. And I committed to making sure not to miss it low after how I had not won it in the round. And I ended up airballing it high on like a 20-footer, maybe not even that. And so now I'm left with another 20 to 25 footer from a ditch uphill at the basket. And I don't know, at this point I think I did get nervous because I remember not feeling super confident about it, but just fighting through and going for it. And I missed that putt too, and Matt made his putt to win, and that's that, and I got second. Yes, losing sucks. Losing in the way that I did sucks, but congrats to Matt. He played amazing all day. I'm not going to take anything away from him. He did great. I just know that there's a few things left I need to iron out in my own game to avoid stuff like this. Overall, the day was great. I was able to fight through mentally the whole day, didn't let anything get me down. I was confident the whole day, and it's just one of those things that just proves a little bit of rawness that I have left to work out in my game. And I am confident that once I get through those things, I'll be a much better player because of it. I feel like I'm playing really well right now. I just need to focus on a few things and clean that up. And overall, that's just what it is. So thank you to my sponsors, Prodigy Disc, obviously. Great discs. I love everything in my bag. The D1s, D2, I've put here a couple times, FX2s, H3V2s. I was throwing the MX3 a lot, and P Model S's and A2s. Those were my go-tos in this tournament. And then also thank you to my newest sponsor, Disc Golf America. Check them out, discgolfamerica.com. It's an awesome online retailer that is bagging and shipping every disc in boxes. So check them out there. And yeah, I don't really have a whole lot else to say today. So thank you for watching if you are still here.